Chapter 3.7, Solving Multi-Step Equations. Your objective for this lesson is to solve multi-step equations. To do that, you're either going to use addition, subtraction, or multiplication and division, or both. So example 1, what are the solutions of 9 plus 4t greater than 21? What we're going to do is solve this just like we would an equation, except if we multiply or divide by a negative, we have to turn our inequality around. We just have to remember this little part right here. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 9. And I get 4t greater than 12. Divide both sides by positive 4, so I keep my inequality, t greater than 3. That's my answer. You can check it by plugging the 3 in for t and seeing if you get a true statement. So I get 9 plus 4 times 3 greater than 21. So that's 9 plus 12 greater than 21, 21 greater than 21. When your numbers are the same, that means you got the right answer. So the correct answer is, indeed, t greater than 3. Okay, got it, number 1. I'm going to do one of these, and I'm going to get you to do the other two. So A, your first step would be add 7. And you get negative 6a is less than or equal to 24. Divide both sides by negative 6. When you divide by a negative, you turn your inequality around. So it's going to be a is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, I want you to do B and C on your own. Pause the video and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, for B, you would subtract 5 from both sides, then divide both sides by negative 3, turn your inequality around. But when I write my answer, I always want my variable on the left, so I get n is less than 3. For C, you would subtract both sides, 30 from both sides, then divide both sides by 0.8. 20 divided by 0.8 is 25. Keep your inequality like it is all the way down. But I always want my variable on the left, so I turn everything around and I get x is less than 25. Okay, example 2. In a community garden, you want to fence in a vegetable garden that is adjacent to your friend's garden that is 12 feet wide. You have almost 42 feet of fence. What are the possible lengths of your garden? You have 42 feet of fence, which is your perimeter. You cannot use more than 42 feet of fence, so your perimeter has to be less than or equal to 42. You already know that your garden, because here's your friend's garden right here, and it's 12 feet wide. So if you put your garden right next to it, yours is going to have to also be 12 feet wide. So since we know that the perimeter is the 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, we already know that 2 times the length plus 24, or 2 times 12, is going to be your perimeter. I also cannot have a perimeter that is greater than 42, so this has to be less than or equal to 42, and we solve it. So we're going to subtract 24. You get 2L is less than or equal to 18. Divide both sides by 2. So your length has to be less than or equal to 9 feet. What are the possible lengths of your garden? Well, it could be 1 foot, 2 foot, anything under 9 feet. Got it, number 2. You want to make a rectangular banner that is 18 feet long. You have no more than 48 feet of trim for the banner. What are the possible widths? So trim is also going to be perimeter. So my perimeter has to be less than or equal to 48. The banner is going to be 18 feet long. So 2 times 18 plus 2 times the possible width has to be less than or equal to 48. 36 plus 2w is less than or equal to 48. Solve that on your own. Pause the video and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, if you had completed solving that, you would first subtract both sides, 6 from both sides, and then you would divide both sides by 2, and you would get the width cannot be more than 6. Okay, example 3. We have an inequality. We want to solve it. There's grouping symbols, so the first thing we need to do is get rid of them. And that's going to give us 3t plus 3 minus 4t greater than or equal to negative 5. Now, on the left-hand side, I have 3t minus 4t, so that's negative 1t greater than or equal to negative 5. Solve it by subtracting 3 from both sides. Divide both sides by negative 1. Dividing by negative, I turn my inequality around, and I get t is less than or equal to positive 8. Got it, number 3. Try this one on your own. Pause the video, and I'll give you the answer in just a second. But before you do it, make sure you do plus a negative 2 right there. Okay, when we distribute the negative 2, we get 5 minus 8m minus 14. Now, combine like terms, and you get 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 14 is negative 9 minus 8m. Then we're going to add 9 to both sides, and we get 24 is less than or equal to negative 8m. Now let's divide both sides by negative 8. If you divide by a negative, you turn your inequality around, so I get negative 3 greater than or equal to m, or m is less than or equal to negative 3. Example 4. Solving an inequality with variables on both sides. You do this the same way we did the equations. You want to get the variables on the same side. So we subtract 3n. And that gives you 3n minus 1 is greater than 8. Add 1 to both sides, and you get 3n is greater than 9. Divide both sides by positive 3, and you get n is greater than 3. Got it, number 4. Solve that one on your own, and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, add 2b to both sides, and you get 5b plus 12 is greater than 27. Subtract 12 from both sides, and you get 5b is greater than 15. Divide both sides by positive 5, and you get b is greater than 3. Example 5. Sometimes you have special solutions, which would be no solution or all real numbers. So for A, we're going to distribute, because we have grouping symbols, we're going to distribute that 2, and we get 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 10 minus 8a. The minus 8a's cancel because they're the same thing on opposite sides, and I get 10 is greater than or equal to 10. Because of the equal sign, that's true. If the equal sign wasn't there, that would be false. But since it's true, the answer is all real numbers. B, you've got like terms. You're going to end up with 6m minus 5 is greater than 6m plus 7. Your 6m's are going to cancel, and you get negative 5 is greater than 7, which is never true, so your answer is no solution. Got it, number 5. Pause the video, do these on your own, and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, the 5 n's on opposite sides of the equal sign are going to cancel, and you get 9 is less than or equal to negative 1. That's never true, so it's no solution. For B, if you combine like terms, you get 8 plus 6x is greater than or equal to 6x plus 2. The 6x's will cancel because they're the same sign, number, and variable on opposite sides of the inequality. And you get 8 is greater than or equal to 2, which is always true, so your answer is all real numbers. Okay, show your work on these. Solve all 4. It's possible that one of these 4 is going to be either all real numbers or no solution, but only one of them. Show all of your work, do it on a separate sheet of paper, and bring it to me tomorrow. Put it in the basket at the beginning of class.